We have Chris Mulcahy in here. Friday morning. It is a peaceful, perfect day.
It is. Today is my peaceful day.
Today is the peaceful day. I love it, as it should be. Set that pace every day. And looking to the weekend, don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but we certainly want to be prepared, especially if that S word is coming into play.
Oh, yeah. And so this has been a big hype, and it's been a really big up and down. So we apologize for the flip-flopping, because I will say on Monday, I was saying, hey, this is a chance. I even said it right here in the Impact Studio. And then Tuesday and Wednesday, I didn't mention it because it was like, it wasn't mentionable. And then all of a sudden Thursday comes back and I was like, oh no, one model showing 4 inches. Now they're starting to agree. Right now, I'll say right off the bat, it looks like 0 to a trace. So that means that you might see snow, but the impacts aren't going to be there. And that's where we're up, your weather impact team. Okay, let's get right to it. It's 29 degrees. It is still freezing. So that says something. Today actually was the second coldest morning of the season. All right.
Yes.
You felt it, right?
Yeah. I ran from my car into the station.
I wore a fur hat this morning. Well, it's faux fur. Mom, if you're listening, it's faux fur, so calm down.
Mom.
But I wore my warmest hat because I was like, my head needs protection.
It was warmest hat criteria.
Right.
And especially where we've been, because officially through the first 14 days, this was the 13th warmest first 2 weeks of January on record. So we felt it. It was actually the top 10 for the first 12, and then we had a couple of colder days. But yeah, 19 degrees. And that's the problem, is I love these little sneak up warm-ups, but they're mean, because all of a sudden they bring us to, this is kind of spring-like, and then all of a sudden you get these big drops. Where 19 degrees was our low this morning, so officially that's the second coldest. The coldest we've been is 16 degrees. That was actually our entire low for the 2025 year. And then we are expecting more of the lower 20s, so we're going to continue to change this top 5 list for the coldest of the season. Today is a warmer day for the afternoon. I was mentioning that I went back and I saw the monks walk by on Tryon, and it was ruthless with the winds.
I feel like they're not wearing enough. I mean,
they were wearing shoes this time, though, I will say.
They were wearing shoes, thank goodness.
I saw.
They're amazing.
You have to.
Yeah, and I will just say, because I talked a lot about this yesterday, JT got a flower. I was just mentioning that.
Amazing.
I was so honored. But yeah, no, it was such joy, and I just really dislike that it's so cold now behind that. So, but they're troopers. Their positivity will warm them up from the insides. 45 degrees is what we have today, or 46 for a high, and then we're looking at those wind chills that are mainly dancing in the 30s. Where yesterday afternoon we had a high of 39. Today is at least 7 degrees warmer for the afternoon hours. Still on the chilly side. So instead of feeling like the 20s, we're feeling like the 30s. As you can see, we're on and off through the 20s. Eventually see those wind chills back to around the freezing point come 3 p.m. So really, as a minimum throughout the afternoon, we're feeling like the 30s, even though the thermometer might read the 40s, and then on and off gusty winds heading into tomorrow. I want to share this message that I got from a viewer yesterday. This was sent to the whole weather impact team. It said, hi, guys and gals. This is Denny Nichols up here at Jonas Ridge, North Carolina. Elevation 3,860. Just to make you folks feel down there in Charlotte feel better about their temps. Today we had a daytime high of 13 degrees and a wind chill hovering around 0. Enjoy the balmy weather down there.
Oh, Jonas.
I was just like, so Denny, thank you so much for sending this around. Jonas Ridge is where he's from.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm sure there's a Jonas there as well.
I'm thinking Jonas Brothers.
But I thought this was really funny. They're going to be warmer in the mountains, but it really does put in perspective what some of the mountainous areas are going to be dealing with. And overnight tonight, we're looking at lows down to freezing and slightly above. So what this does is it sets a above freezing precedent. So even with these temperatures, if we were to have precipitation under the right circumstance, you could still have snow. It would be extremely wet snow, and oftentimes when you have temperatures that are in the upper 30s, you can often have what we call as white rain. And the reason why this is significant is that is a possibility for the weekend, and that kind of is our S chance, our snow chance. This is tomorrow's forecast. Number one, it starts off cloudy. If you get up before 10 o'clock, you will have an overcast sky. If you get up after then, well, hopefully you had a good night the night before. And then the temperatures are reaching the mid-50s with winds out of the southwest. We're going to be encountering a slight chance for rain, but there's a good chance a lot of us are staying dry. And then Sunday, I do have that icon that has the raindrop and also the snowflake. But if we're going to see this is going to be late morning, heading into the early afternoon. I'm going to go through a couple of models. This most recent one is the one that I trust the most. This is picking up on just a clear day today, and then we see this line. So this is a front that's approaching that brings us some rain. Could bring us a wintry mix for the mountains, less than even 5/10 of an inch up in the mountains. So we're talking about maybe a quarter to a half inch of snow maximum from this system. And that rain is most likely around Charlotte, either side of sunrise. And sunrise now is close to about 7:30. Then once you get to about 9 o'clock, I think the rain is done. We're starting to break up the clouds, and then you're going to have a sunnier afternoon. So Saturday is actually a pretty decent day. Sunday is much colder because temperatures are filtering in. Now, one thing that's really ruined our storm chance and a snow chance is that, one, the system that this is involving is too far east. Number two, you're a little bit too warm. And number three, you still have some relatively dry air. That's the only problem with today. It's almost too dry in the air because that's what allowed us to get that cold. But watch what happens right around Sunday at 1 a.m. So that's showing that system that's nearby. Temperatures are in the 40s. So that's supporting rain. That's one thing that we were looking at for a chance of snow. Temperatures were a little bit on the cooler side. And that rain is primarily going to be east and southeast, but oftentimes north of a low pressure system, you can get some cold air interacting with it and can change to snow. We do see that a little bit here on our futurecast, not by much, but you are seeing some signs of maybe a snow shower heading into the afternoon. Overall, you see it pop up there around Rockingham. So I think if we do see snow, it's mainly going to be east of the Charlotte area, but there are some other models that are indicating something different. The only way that we're actually going to get more than what I have forecasted here, that's 0 inches to a trace. This is almost not worth even mentioning. If we didn't live in Charlotte, North Carolina, I would be booed out of the station if I lived north of here, because that was like, all right, thanks a lot for that news. But snow forecasts are more sensitive than they used to be. We went essentially almost 3 years without even a flake of snow. So we went without even a trace. So people are anticipating it a lot more. So the best way for us as a meteorologist is to kind of go for the boom bust, or really what the probabilities per ranges. The one thing that's come up is you see the green arrow. We now have a 40% chance of a 0. And a 40% chance of just even seeing it with a measurable snowfall of 1/10 of an inch. So that's barely anything. One thing with these models don't anticipate is the melting. With temperatures that are above freezing, and with temperatures staying above freezing, you're not going to be dealing with all of a sudden, oh, this is quickly accumulating. It needs to stick around longer. It needs to overcome the warmer ground. So yes, even if we do pick up a couple of 1/10 of an inch of snow, it's going to melt on the roads, and most it'll accumulate on the colder surfaces such as metal, the grass, metal benches, things like that. So that's why I'm keeping that 0 to trace around. Here's the scenario that I'm talking about where we're maximizing the totals. So I'm right now, as of, what's the time? 10:13 on a Friday, calling for a trace to a 1/10 of an inch maximum for the Charlotte area and areas east. There is a little bullseye that could happen up to a 1/2 inch, but again, a lot of that is going to melt. And this is the absolute maximum that could happen. I think all in all, seeing some snowflakes or nothing at all is going to be your Sunday morning into the afternoon. Staying cloudy for most of the day, and then eventually we're going to see that sunshine return, and we have a mix of the 50s beyond that. This is actually sneakily our 10-day forecast. You can see that we have a nice range of the 50s really after Wednesday, and we're going to have some above freezing temperatures starting on Thursday. So that really is kind of the nitty-gritty for the forecast. Nothing that really stands out from the rest. I do want to show one other model here that's going to show another snow scenario. My darkness is so low, it's so tough to see what's going on. Let's see. Hold on. There's this one model that does show the only time that I think you're going to see snow, and it's right here. It is. Okay. So, for one, there was one model yesterday that was actually showing a potential for snow up to about 4 inches. That is now barely showing anything, but this surface map right here shows rain in the morning to the southeast. But notice how you do have that rain snow line that sneaks in right around 1 o'clock. This right here would be the best case in scenario that we see the snow. That's the system nudging to the west. That's a little bit colder air that starts to work in, but still temperatures at this point would still be at least in the upper 30s, and that's still enough to support snow. Because if you have active snow that's heavier above our heads, it'll partially melt, so then it's just more of a slushy snow that comes down. But if you notice, it doesn't really spread west of I-77, and it's quickly out of here, replaced by rain. So you're literally looking at even struggle chance for rain associated with this system. So I just kind of want to go through all the ins and outs, because this has been really one of those big hype things. And that's why I also want to kind of give you this word of advice that I leave you with. If you see any snow forecast that is outside of 7 days, it is baloney.
Okay.
Don't do it. As meteorologists here, it's disappointing, because even me at the station, I feel like I have to compensate for what people are seeing online. People are saying, "Hey, it's going to snow," and then that almost makes an alarmist. It is so hard to forecast snow, especially with a weather system that hasn't even developed and is even just thinking of developing. So when you have 3 days, you can start talking about it. 7 days, you can kind of see where the setups or something like that. But I will let you know, you will never see me post any snow total maps that are outside of 3 days. You can maybe see like, hey, here's the pattern. There's a chance for it. I get that. But a lot of times online, you'll see these big time snow total maps, because guess what? People click on them. Mm-hmm. People are going to say what's that's about. So I just want to say, just in general, you're rarely going to see us really give an alert that far out for something, because there's just so many variables that can change. Because just look at this week. Yeah. This has been a nightmare. And this is why people compare us to flipping coins sometimes, because it's so easy for things to change. But I'm happy this one's trending in a good direction. There's still a slight chance that maybe you see snow, but this is almost a non-event overall as far as the impacts are concerned.
All right. Thank you for setting the record straight, Chris.
Yep.
And very touchy. Sometimes, walk in your shoes. Mm-hmm. It's good, easier said than done to try to forecast the weather. All right. Thank you, Chris. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. Take care.
All right. And